Your phone displays 5G in the top corner, and you assume that means you are on the most secure cellular connection available. That assumption is wrong for most people in most locations, and the reason it is wrong is a specific architectural decision your carrier made during their 5G rollout that affects every device on their network right now. Most 5G connections in 2026 are not running on full standalone 5G architecture. They are running on non-standalone 5G, 5G NSA, which means the 5G radio layer is delivering your data speeds, while the core network that controls authentication, session security, identity protection, and routing remains the 4G LTE core from the previous generation. The security architecture of 5G NSA is fundamentally the security architecture of 4G, not the enhanced architecture of 5G standalone. The genuine security improvements that 5G standalone architecture introduced, including SUPI concealment that prevents IMC catchers from harvesting your permanent subscriber identity, enhanced mutual authentication that cryptographically verifies both the network and your device before any session begins, and improved protection against downgrade attacks that force modern phones onto older standards, are only available when your device is connected to a true 5G SA core network. If your carrier has not yet deployed 5G SA in your specific coverage area, and most major carriers had not completed that full nationwide deployment as of May 2026, your phone is executing 4G security protocols while displaying 5G in the status bar. That is not a theoretical edge case or a minor technical footnote. It is the confirmed architectural reality of the majority of 5G connections worldwide in 2026, and the specific gap this video addresses. The setting this video asks you to check and configure correctly is your preferred network type, because that single setting determines which network generations your phone will accept, how it responds to forced downgrade attempts from cell site simulators, and whether Android 16's new cellular network security detection has the conditions it needs to work effectively. The 5G NSA versus 5G SA architectural distinction is the most critical piece of cellular security context that most users have never been told about, and understanding it explains precisely why owning a 5G phone and seeing 5G in your status bar does not mean your calls and data are protected by the specific security improvements that 5G standalone was designed to deliver. When 3GPP, the international standards body, whose specifications every carrier and every device manufacturer globally implements, designed 5G, they defined two distinct deployment modes to accommodate different rollout timelines and infrastructure investment levels. Non-standalone mode, 5G NSA, was designed specifically as a fast commercial deployment path. It allowed carriers to add 5G radio access network elements and deliver speed improvements to customers while keeping their entire existing 4G LTE core network infrastructure in place without a full replacement. Standalone mode, 5G ASA, was designed as the full architectural replacement with a new 5G core network that implements the complete security feature set the 5G specification promised. This includes SUPI concealment, which encrypts your permanent subscriber identity inside a public key container before it ever leaves your device, making IMSI catcher-based permanent identity harvesting technically impossible at the protocol level. The problem confirmed by multiple security researchers and telecommunications standards analysts is specific and architectural. 5G NSA does not and cannot include SUPI concealment because the 4G LTE core network it relies on was designed before that feature existed, and fundamentally lacks the signaling architecture to support it. An IMSI catcher operating near a 5G NSA user can still harvest that user's permanent EMSI identifier in exactly the same way it works against a 4G-only device. The reason is direct. The 5G NSA phone executes standard 4G authentication procedures when communicating with the 4G LTE core, exposing the IMSI in the process. The 5G speed indicator on your status bar confirms that 5G new radio is handling your data throughput. It says nothing about which generation of core network security architecture is governing your session authentication, your subscriber identity exposure, and your practical vulnerability to MSI catcher attacks. TechRadar's confirmed analysis of Android 16's new fake cell tower detection feature documented the same layered vulnerability clearly. Cell site simulators work by mimicking legitimate cell towers, and the 5G NSA architecture leaves users exposed to the identical IMSI catcher attack surface that 4G-only devices face. The forced downgrade attack that IMSI catchers execute against 5G NSA phones is the same confirmed mechanism this channel documented in its IMSI catcher and SS7 vulnerability series. The confirmed defense remains the same two-layer approach. Android 16's cellular network security detection to alert you when a cell site simulator is present, combined with removing 2G from your device's available network modes to close the final interception channel. When an IMSI catcher broadcasts a powerful signal near a 5G NSA device, It can force that device down to 4G or 2G using the same signaling exploits that work against pure 4G devices. The 5G NSA architecture provides no additional protection against this forced downgrade attack. The specific security mechanism that would resist it, the 5G SA mutual authentication and SUPI concealment protocol stack, is structurally absent from the NSA deployment mode by design. Entropy Survival's March 2026 confirmed analysis documented the backward compatibility design decision that makes this attack possible. 5G phones maintain compatibility with 4G, 3G, and 2G networks by deliberate design, and as long as that legacy support remains in the device firmware, an attacker can force any 5G phone to downgrade to a vulnerable older standard. Bangladesh Pradhan's confirmed analysis of Android 16's new Stingray protection feature confirmed that the cellular network security monitoring system specifically detects the behavioral signatures that distinguish IMSI catchers from legitimate towers, including unexpected network transitions that do not match registered tower positions and aggressive device IMSI and IMEI data requests. To enable Android 16's cellular security detection, go to Settings, then Security and Privacy, then More Security and Privacy, then Enable Cellular Network Security, and toggle it on. TechRadar confirmed this is the first OS-level IMSI catcher detection ever built into mainstream Android. It directly addresses the 5G NSA vulnerability by continuously monitoring every cell tower connection for the specific behavioral anomalies that distinguish a cell site simulator from a legitimate carrier tower. The preferred network type setting that directly determines your exposure to 5G NSA vulnerabilities and forced downgrade attacks is found in your phone's mobile network settings, and configuring it correctly requires understanding the trade-off between connectivity and security. On Android, go to Settings, then Connections, or Network and Internet depending on your manufacturer, then Mobile Networks, then Network Mode or Preferred Network Type. The available options typically include 5G, LTE, 3G, 2G Auto, which accepts all generations, LTE, 3G, 2G Auto, LTE only, and on devices that support the option, 5G only or NR LTE. The setting that provides the strongest protection against downgrade attacks while maintaining practical connectivity for most users is LTE only. On Samsung devices, this appears as LTE in the Network Mode menu. On Pixel devices, it appears under Preferred Network Type as LTE. Any selection that explicitly excludes 2G and 3G from the available options achieves the same protection. Selecting LTE-S only removes both 2G and 3G from the device's network negotiation entirely. As confirmed in this channel's previous cellular security tutorial, removing 2G from your available network modes eliminates the weakest link in the entire downgrade chain because 2G is the only standard weak enough to allow SMS interception and voice call eavesdropping in transit. An IMSI catcher that forces a 5G NSA phone down to 4G gains the same network level access as a pure 4G attack because the security architecture of the session was already 4G underneath. But an EMSI catcher that cannot complete the further downgrade to 2G cannot intercept the unencrypted SMS messages, voice calls, and bank OTP codes that 2G's fundamentally weak 1990 security architecture makes readable in transit. The 5G only setting, where available on your device, maximizes your probability of connecting to a 5G SA core in areas where your carrier has completed that deployment, because a phone accepting only 5G NR connections cannot be forced onto the weaker 4G security architecture by any downgrade attempt, regardless of how powerful the AMSI catcher signal is. The trade-off is straightforward. In areas without 5G coverage, your phone will show no cellular signal rather than falling back to 4G. For most urban users, this is an acceptable trade-off during sessions, involving sensitive communications, with the setting reverting when the session ends. The carrier account protections that complete the 5G NSA cellular security configuration address the social engineering layer that operates entirely above the radio access technology. No cellular radio access technology setting, no matter how well configured, prevents a carrier customer service representative from transferring your phone number to an attacker's SIM card if the attacker provides enough personal information to pass the carrier's identity verification. The FCC's confirmed enforcement action that fined AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile a combined $200 million for illegally sharing customer real-time location data with third-party brokers documented the gap between how carriers describe their data handling and how they actually operate. The same carriers the FCC fined for selling customer location data without consent are precisely the carriers whose customer service verification processes determine whether a SIM swap attacker can successfully reroute your number. That enforcement history is relevant context for how seriously these carriers take customer data protection. Setting a carrier account PIN is the direct countermeasure that closes this social engineering channel. call your carrier's customer service line directly and request that a security PIN be added to your account. This PIN must be verified before any account changes can be processed, including SIM card transfers, number ports to a new carrier, or call forwarding activation. On AT&T, this is called an account passcode and is configured under account security in your online account portal. On Verizon, this is called an account PIN and is set under My Verizon account settings. On T-Mobile, this is called a SIM lock and is available directly in the T-Mobile app under account. A carrier account PIN does not address the 5G NSA radio access security gap, but it closes the social engineering attack pathway that can bypass every technical defense simultaneously. An attacker who successfully convinces a carrier agent they are you can reroute your number regardless of what network mode you have set. The two protections work at completely different layers of the cellular security stack. The network mode setting and Android 16 cellular detection address the radio access technology layer where IMC catchers and downgrade attacks operate. The carrier account PIN addresses the social engineering layer where SIM swap fraud operates. Both are necessary for complete cellular security in 2026 because both attack surfaces are confirmed active and being exploited. The complete 5G security configuration framework covers the Android 16 cellular detection toggle, the network mode setting, the 2G disable, the carrier account PIN, and the encrypted calling application layer that removes sensitive conversations from cellular infrastructure entirely. Step 1 is enabling Android 16 cellular network security if you are on Android 16. Settings, then security and privacy, then more security and privacy, then enable cellular network security. TechRadar confirmed this is the first OS-level MSI catcher detection ever built into mainstream Android. Step 2 is setting your preferred network type to eliminate the downgrade attack surface. Settings, then mobile networks, then network mode, and select LTE only to remove 2G and 3G from the available network options. Step 3 is the carrier account. PIN. Call your carrier's customer service number and request that a security PIN be added to your account, required before any changes are processed. Step 4 is confirming no call. Forwarding redirect is currently active on your number. Dial star 02 from your phone's standard dialer and confirm no unrecognized forwarding number appears in the result. Step 5 is switching sensitive calls to Signal or another properly implemented end-to-end encrypted calling application for any conversation where call content matters. Signal routes calls through the internet as encrypted data rather than through the cellular voice infrastructure, removing the call entirely from the SS7 and cellular radio access layer where interception occurs. As confirmed in this channel's SS7 and SIM interception tutorials, a call made through Signal is not routed through the cellular voice call architecture at all. An IMSI catcher that intercepts the cellular data routing of a Signal call receives only encrypted audio ciphertext. Without the private keys held exclusively by the two endpoint devices, that ciphertext cannot be decrypted or read. The 5G indicator on your phone screen confirms that 5G new radio is delivering your data at speed. It says nothing about whether your underlying connection session is using the enhanced 5G SA security architecture or the older 5G NSA architecture. And for most users, in most locations globally as of May 2026, the honest answer is NSA. The 5 settings in this framework close every confirmed vulnerability in the 5G NSA architecture from the network mode, configuration level, through to the encrypted calling application layer. Configure all 5 before your next sensitive session. The 5 steps are Android 16 cellular network security toggle, preferred network mode set to LTE only to remove 2G and 3G, carrier account PIN to block SIM swap attacks, call forwarding audit via star 02 and Signal for sensitive calls to remove them from the cellular voice infrastructure. Share this video with every contact who assumes their 5G phone is automatically more secure than their old 4G phone. The security upgrade they are assuming is only present on 5G SA. For most of them, on most connections, as of May 2026, it is not there yet.